DJDUBL.
It's DJ Double here, and today I'm sat down with double platinum selling artist.
Yeah, what's up, dog?
I've got Logic in the building.
How's it going?
I'm really good, thanks. How are you, bro?
I'm great.
Welcome back to the UK.
Thanks. Yeah, it's pretty cool to be here. I'm very tired, though. I came over here and I haven't been able to adjust to the time. It's insane. It's crazy. Yeah.
Your road schedule is immense, bruv. Like,
yeah.
I don't know people that tour like you do.
Thanks. I'm just trying to, get it and enjoy it and have fun with it, but also do my best to balance, because it's definitely about balance and health, and it's very hard. Just like sometimes you can exude yourself so much that it's hard to like eat or rest when you want, when you can, or even when you want to, or So I'm doing my best to really always balance myself.
A lot of stuff has changed since we first met.
Yeah.
For example, you were just engaged when we first met.
Yeah, now I'm married.
Now you're married. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You weren't a top 10 selling artist in the UK when we first met.
Oh, wow,
and
yeah.
now you are.
That's very cool.
And like I mentioned, double platinum as well. Like,
yeah, it's wild.
A lot of stuff has changed. Have you changed as an artist, do you think, in the last 2 years?
Yeah, without question. I've changed as an artist and a man. A lot of people are scared of change, but I think change is good as long as you're changing for the better and in a positive manner. I'm not the artist I was, a few years ago dropping my first album. I'm not the same artist that I was, when I did my mixtapes. And that can be very scary as an artist as well, because, some people could be like, oh, do the young Sinatra stuff or do your older stuff. You should do more shit like that. But it's like, but I already did that, and I did it for years. And I don't want to be that artist that does the same thing over and over and over and over again, because then you're the artist that's like, yeah, he's cool, but he always does the same thing. We hear that about so many artists. Or if you change and you do something different, it's like, oh man, he's changing. So for me, I want to enjoy myself. I want to be able to have fun. Like, I've been playing the piano. I've been singing. I want to sing ballads like Freddie Mercury and Elton John and throw some Wu-Tang drums on that shit and then rap on top of it. I want to have fun. I want to change. I want to grow as an artist. But yes, very long-winded answer. Yes, I feel that I have changed, but in a good way.
In the industry now, the way we measure a lot of stuff, like for example, how I introduce you, double platinum selling artist, you get 23 million streams a month on Spotify. All these numbers and statistics are how, in a lot of senses now, we measure the success of music. Yeah. Is that how you measure the success of your own work, or is it different?
Yeah, it depends on what it is. I measure, success it truly does vary, because there's personal success as well, and for me, like, the biggest success and the thing that I constantly work on, once again, like I said, is balance, is being able to have time for myself or do the things that I love. Music, I love it, but it's also become a business, and because it's such a business and I've become such a business, everybody wants you and everybody's trying to pull you in a million different directions, and that can be very, very hard to deal with. But success, I think, it can be measured by numbers and this and that and metrics, but it just truly also depends, because you could have all the money in the world, all the success in the world, but you could maybe not have respect, or credibility from your peers or this or that. And I'm very happy to know that, I am respected by those in music, and the people that I also respect and show love to as well. And it also feels good to know, that like I have really attained all the things I could have ever wanted, and then some. Where I am right now, I could have never dreamed. I always wanted to be like the biggest rapper, or the biggest this or that, or da da da. And then I realized none of that matters. I don't give a shit about rap or being the #1 rapper or this or that, or singer or music or that. Fuck all of that shit. All I care about is being the best man that I can possibly be. Like, like, all this money, all this fame, all this success is bullshit without being happy with who you are. And that's one thing I've learned. There was at a time where I had all of this and I was unhappy. And it wasn't that I was necessarily unhappy with myself. I was unhappy with the fact that I've worked so hard that I haven't been able to enjoy all that I have attained. And that is fucked up. But now I'm in a place where I am happy and I am working hard. And like, even being here right now and talking to you, I'm fucking exhausted. I've been going for years and years and years of my life, but I'm happy with how hard I've worked. I'm happy that I can sit here and talk about the things that I have accomplished, that I will accomplish, and what I am looking forward to. So I know this is quite weird, but honestly, the biggest thing that I could say to anybody watching or listening or this or that is, like, all the things you think matter as an artist when you first start, you kind of realize are bullshit. Besides the key elements, like spreading a positive message and doing it because you love it. But like, once you have everything you've ever wanted, it's not what you think it's like. But I don't say that in a negative way, because it's also very beautiful. Sorry, I know I'm kind of running on here.
No, please do, man.
Yeah, but it's like with music and with the things that we attain when we finally. So here, this is the type of person I am. For every goal I attain, I set 10 more. You know, all I ever wanted when I was 18 years old was to be able to go on tour. I didn't care if I was doing it for free, if I was sleeping under the bus, if I was sleeping in a van or this or that. If I could just go and perform. And then, you know, I did that, and that was nice. But then I was like, you know, I need a little bit of money, and then I got just a little bit of money for it, and this and that. There's always more things that you want, and I just think that success isn't necessarily measured by the things you kind of necessarily attain. It's like I'm sorry, I know I'm going on, but it's legitimately it's a number of things. I think. Sorry, that is so.
I love it, bro. I love the wisdom. Coming back to your positivity and the fact that you have a positive message, like, you're a very genuinely nice guy as well.
Oh, thanks.
Coming from your background, it could have so easily been different. You've
Yeah.
spoken about it on records. Both
Definitely,
your parents were addicted to drugs. You grew up in Section 8 household.
Yeah.
Very poor quality of life.
Yeah, 100%.
Very impoverished areas. You could have quite easily been a product of your environment and turned out to be a shitty guy. Like,
Yeah.
you could have joined a gang. You could have been
Yeah.
a drug addict. Was there a catalyst or like a moment in time that you realized, no, I'm going to be good? Like your philosophy, peace, love, and positivity.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that just always there, or was it like a moment in time that you thought, no, I need to be a good guy?
I was a kid. I've done dumb things, you know, stupid things. But I think that positivity truly was always deep down in there. But it's also really hard because, I mean, even when I started in rap and hip hop and started making a name for myself years ago, you know, people would be like, oh, you're too nice. You know, all this peace, love, and positivity shit, like that shit ain't never going to work. Like your image is this and that, da, da, da. And I think it's so fucked up that when I first tried to make it in the rap game, people were telling me that I was too good of a person.
Right.
Like that's fucked up. Like, that's such a fucked up thing, you know? And I'm glad I persevered. But yeah, I don't necessarily, I can't say that there was one moment. I think it was just God and common sense or something that just kept me pushing and kept me going. Honestly, I think about it a lot. I wake up and I'm like, I don't even know how I'm here. Like, but I don't mean like, I don't know how I'm here. I mean like, I don't know how this happened.
Yeah.
It's crazy because every day that goes, I can feel this empire that I've built and am continuing to build. I can feel this legion of positive people and the Rat Pack and my fans. Like I can feel this. It's not just like some rap shit. Like this is different, and I can feel that this is different. This is not, you know, I used to be scared because, you know, Diddy, he would always say like rappers like have like a 5-year span. That's kind of all you get. Well, I've been doing this for 5 years, and yet my, you know, my entrance into the mainstream has only been this year. And because of that, it's like, but I feel like I'm not just a rapper. I'm an entertainer. And because of that, I will last. And it's really exciting. But anyway, to go back to what you said, yeah, I don't think it was necessarily one moment. I think it was just kind of like a culmination of my life and what I saw. And every time I saw a negative thing or something that was bad, my heart was kind of like, don't do that. Go do something, you know, stay positive.
Your relationship's very much out in the open now on Instagram, where if you and your wife post a lot about each other.
Totally.
In fact, I saw the other day you guys FaceTiming with the new Instagram live feature.
That's pretty tight, right? Yeah, it's pretty dope.
There was a time where your relationship was your escape.
Yes.
You could be Bobby and you know, you're not Logic when you're there.
Completely.
But now it's very out in the open. Was that just a natural progression, obviously, once you got married?
Yeah, I think so. Because like she's an extension of myself. You know what I mean? So for me, just us being married, it's like, hey, this is my life. Now, I wouldn't use the word private, but, you know, that was just a nice part of my life. But once I've been married, I mean, that's just, you know, she's just an extension of myself. And she's awesome, and she makes her own music, and, you know, she's into fashion and you know, skincare and different things like that. And she's doing really, really kick-ass. So it's awesome to have that.
So this is what I was going to ask, because she's a successful singer as well, right?
Yeah. She's
Why
doing
is she
good.
not on the album?
She is on the album.
Oh.
Yeah, she's like singing on different parts and doing stuff like that. But as far as featured, like being featured, yeah, I mean, you could be, you know, Michael Jackson could come back from the grave, but if it ain't right for that song, I'm not gonna force it. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. So whenever we do a song, and we have like different ideas and stuff, it's gonna be just right.
Right, so she's there providing the BVs and
yeah. Oh, yep. 100%.
Beautiful. I'm gonna listen back, man. I want to definitely listen out for that. So Everybody, the album, it was incredible, bro.
Oh,
like,
thanks, man.
Absolutely amazing album.
I appreciate that.
This is your first album to debut at #1.
Yeah.
Definitely your most successful album.
Thanks.
Is it your favorite?
I don't have favorites. That's kind of like, what's your favorite kid? Yeah, no, for real.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, not even just in hip hop, but in music today, everything is very quick. It's like, you know, somebody could release one album, then release another album, and because you're not really a fan of this album, you're like, oh, he lost it, or she lost it, or that's it, or that. They're so quick to judge. But you know, I'd like to think about my career the way, you know, you look at like a David Bowie or a, you know, any great icon, Freddie Mercury, Queen, this, that, like. I want people to enjoy the collection of my music. I want people to look and you know, and kind of go through the Rolodex of all the albums and projects and things that I've ever put out and measure my success based on my entire career, not month to month. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like, and and everybody has a favorite, of course. Yeah. But I think any true open-minded fan of me, because that's who I make music for. I don't make music for critics. I don't make music for people who don't like my music. That doesn't make sense. If you don't like my music, that's fine. It's not fuck you. And literally, your opinion is invalid on my music because you don't like it. Right. And that's just a real thing. Like, you don't like it. I think we all can agree that, yeah, I have a good message. I have a, you know, I am talented. I can rap. Like, you could be like, it ain't the rap for you or the singing for you or that, but there is no, you cannot deny my talent. And that's not me trying to sound arrogant. It's literally a fact. Yeah. So if you go any further than to say, you know, I'm not really into his shit, and then you're trying to say why, how bad it is or this, you're just a fucking hater. You know, no, it's just a real thing. It's almost like trying to say that this beautiful woman is ugly because she dished you in the club. But it's like, no matter what you say, she's still going to be beautiful. She might not be beautiful inside, you know, you know, whatever. But anyway, I just say all this to say that, like, when it comes to music and how we consume it, you know, I believe that I want people to remember me just kind of as a whole, and I need to also remember that I make music for the people who enjoy it. You know, that's the thing that's the most important, is I make music for the people who love it. So when somebody's like, oh, you know, I'm not really with this, I just completely respect it, but I'm like, hey, it's all good. I made this for me, and it makes me happy, because that's all that matters. You know, like, if I make a song and it makes me happy, and I was able to vent and talk about my feelings or my emotions through this to come out of the other side as a better man, then that's the most important part, at least for me.
You touch a lot of topics on this album that you've never spoken about before in a studio album. Yeah. Does that make it easier to make or harder?
Wow, I think it's a bit of both. I think it gives me a lot of ammunition to talk about, like subject matter, so I'm just right. But then actually saying these things are hard. Like, you know, last time we sat down and had an interview, you know, you asked me where I'm from and my background, and I tell you, oh, I'm black and white, and I'm from here, and I do this, and da-da-da, and it's never an issue. That's how it was even in the States. Like, you know, doing interviews when I was first coming up, and I tell them who I am and where I come from, it was never a big deal. But the bigger I get, things like my race or where I come from or credibility, they become more and more, because that's what people care about in mainstream, you know, just like media. It's like such a big deal. So for me, I think when it comes to the subject matter that I was to discuss, it was very difficult, because it was the first time on an album I talked about my race. It was the first time I talked about politics. It was the first time I discussed so many things, rapping from the perspective of other people, and you know, talking on religion or this or that. It was very difficult, but I knew that it would be okay, because I did it all from a place in my heart of love. Right. And it's pretty cool.
Sounds pretty good, man. Yeah. The ideology behind the album was sick. As I was listening to it and as it unfolded, you know, Atom's conversation with God, and the whole thing, as God was explaining it, you know, the reincarnation, coming back, you have to live every single life before you upgrade, you know. I just thought that is such a sick concept. Like, who came up with that concept for the album?
Well, it's crazy. I came up with the concept for the album, but I was inspired by this short story by a gentleman by the name of Andy Weir, who wrote a short story about a guy who essentially goes and meets God, and then he finds out that he lives every life ever. Right. So very similar to how, like, Spielberg took Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park, the novel, and turned it into a film. I love this short story and took it and turned it into an album, with Andy Weir's permission, of course. Right. And yeah, that's how you have it today. It's really
incredible.
Cool.
What's the name of Andy Weir's story?
It's called The Egg. It's a short story.
The Egg.
Yeah. The Egg.
Oh, I'm gonna definitely check that out. What's your favorite song from the album?
That's another one, right? That it's like, it's so hard, you know, to pick my favorite. But I mean, it's honestly, I'll give you a couple. Like, I love Everybody, I love Anxiety, I love Take It Back, and I love Africarian.
Okay.
Yeah, I love
Which that was the original name for the album.
Yeah,
right?
the original title was going to be Africarian, and a lot of people were so upset over the title, even though that's what's in my blood, being black and white, and my lineage and where I come from, and the fact that people don't like me or my race, or think I should never have, you know, my parents should have never blended. That was the whole concept. Crazy thing is the original title was going to be God.
Right, okay.
Which some people could see as sacrilegious or this or that, but I saw it as a positive thing. What more of an awesome thing to do than name, you know, an album after, you know, what people believe to be our creator. And since the whole album is about God as well. But I thought too many people would get all pissed off about that, so I was like,
definitely,
you know what, fuck it.
some controversy.
Yeah, 100%. And then, but that's not why I changed it from Africarian to everybody. It was gonna stay Africarian. It was gonna be Africarian. And I think after listening to the song Africarian, everybody can agree, wow, it's fitting, it's understandable. You know, out of context, it might not really make that much sense, but yeah, I just chose everybody because I realized Africarian was more about me and what I was going through, even though I meant it in more of a positive message. But yeah, so what I did was I thought, man, you know what? This isn't about me. Look at this whole album, rapping from others' perspectives. This is about everybody, so let's make it about them.
And I feel like calling it everybody, it makes it more accessible.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a word that I'd never heard of the word Africarian until I'd seen the track list.
Yeah, which didn't exist. You know, no, but I just made that up. Like, I just like took these two words and put them together because that's me, right? You know what I mean? Like, somewhere along the way, my great granddaddy was a slave, you know, from Africa, and somewhere along the way, my great granddaddy enslaved and was a slave master. Like, it's just. It's just in my blood somewhere, and that's kind of what that was. And it was about accepting that and knowing that my lineage really, I mean, obviously, you know, people come from great ancestry and things like that, but at the end of the day, this is about me, who I am now, and I'm not going to allow my race or my this or that to define me, you know?
Makes me feel so much better about not knowing that word.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good thing.
So the song Take It Back.
Yes.
Talk me through the production process of that, because lyrically and sonically it's very skippy. Yeah. And it doesn't sound like a song that you could write. Does that make sense? Like putting pen to paper, the way that the lyrics skip through the record.
Yeah, but see, I didn't originally. Right. When I did the song, it was a really awesome beat, and then I just did I kind of did the hook, take it back, take it way back, take it way, way back, and then I did like a 5-minute speech. Right. Because for me, I knew that this was the first time everybody was going to have eyes on Logic and on this album, and I wanted to tell them my story of where I come from and my background racially and everything that I've been through. And then after I did it, I was like, something's missing. And in my mind, I was like, honestly, this is too hot of a beat to not rap on, to not, like, you know, put some actual raps on. So I decided to do that so I could, like, you know, perform at awesome places like tonight.
Right, got you. America's the political record on
Very,
there.
yes.
I feel like you're emulating a lot of people's opinion from America, from what I see on social media and when I'm seeing videos and stuff. You're basically talking what the people are thinking. There's a couple of lyrics in there I just wanted you to break down. The first one is the Kanye lyric. Yeah. About you saying, I'll say what Kanye won't.
It was a thing. Like, I love Kanye. Kanye's, you know, been a musical mentor of mine just through his, you know, his music alone. We've never met, and he's like he's my idol. You know, he's incredible. But for me, it was literally, I just don't know how you can go from George Bush doesn't care about black people to endorsing Donald Trump.
Got you.
Like that, it was that simple. And I was literally like, man, you've always been my voice, you know, and you've always been a voice that I felt I needed. And right now, personally, like, hey man, I respect your opinion. That's cool. But I feel like I don't have that voice that I need. So I'm going to be that voice for myself and for anybody else who might need it as well. Right. That's all I meant. You know, it wasn't meant to be taken in any type of like negative sense. Yeah, you know, if I had beef with somebody, which I never would, because why would I? You know what I mean? I'd be a man about it and just like call them out. But you know, it is what it is.
Yes. The other one is towards the end. Now I wasn't sure if it was Black Thought's voice talking about print your own paper.
Oh, that's No I.D.
That's
who had not rapped for. That was the first time he rapped in 20 years.
Which is why I didn't recognize his
awesome.
his voice. So that's sick. So firstly, you got No I.D. rapping for the first time in 20 years.
Yeah.
What did he mean by that? Like print your own paper, tear down the casino?
Yeah, he's basically, what we're really talking about is, and this is why I loved it so much, because it's called America, but we were essentially talking about this war between blacks and whites and, you know, Latinos and building a wall and all this other shit and saying, yo, there are some serious issues going on in this country. like without a doubt, nobody is more important than the other, or this or this. We need to discuss these things that the minority and that people of color are going through. But let us not forget that this war and everything that is happening on another person's soil, the Native American indigenous person who has been neglected and is still continuing to be neglected. And that's kind of what it was all about. Send the blacks back to Africa, send the whites to Europe, build a wall, and give this land to the people who have also suffered. And now I'm not literally saying let's kick everybody out. It's just obviously a metaphor for saying like we're all going through shit, but also please let us not forget about the indigenous people who in mainstream American and almost in the worldwide media seem to have no voice. And I thought I could just take a moment to discuss that.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, they're going, from what I understand, they're going through a lot of stuff at the moment. That's another conversation, I guess.
100%.
1-800.
Yes.
Definitely the song that impacted the hardest globally.
Yeah, crazy.
Incredible. I mean, again, back to the stats and figures, but, you know, it's just done crazy numbers, man. 126 million on YouTube.
Yeah.
Double platinum in the States.
It's pretty insane.
Top
I can't
10
believe
in the
it.
UK.
Yeah,
I haven't even looked at the other countries in Europe. Like,
I'm just so happy that, dude, that like it's all of those things you just said, and it's a message of love and positivity. Because don't get me wrong, bro. This is a time to turn up and have fun and, you know, make fun music that does really well. But I just can't believe, like, I'm so happy that after all these years, like, I had given up on trying to make a hit or trying to be accepted or go to radio. I gave up and made this album that I thought not as many people would appreciate, and they have. Excuse me. But I just can't believe that it's this song. It's a song about mental health and battling depression and continuing to live and to survive. And it's bigger than myself. It's bigger than you. It's bigger. It's about us as a whole. And the fact that that is the song that I can like flex on as a rapper and be like, double platinum, motherfucker. Like, it's so, that's amazing. That's so special.
I feel like it's the most important song on the record because of the message.
Yeah.
And because of its success, it's opened you up to a whole new lane of media.
Totally.
Like, you know, national radio stations that don't play rap music are now playing Logic.
100%.
Especially in the UK. I mean, it must be 10 times that across America.
It's crazy.
Which opens you up to a whole new group of lanes when it comes to press. So what I wanted to talk to you about was, because of the message behind the song and the way that the radio stations on a bigger scale work, they're going to just want to talk to you about the single.
Yeah.
Not the album, not the body of work.
Oh, but I don't let them do that.
Right, okay, so you just take it. Because I was going to say, is it draining talking about a suicide record all the time?
Yeah.
I mean, that's your energy there.
Yeah, but I mean, with any interview, it always comes up. And it's not to, you know, the interviewer's fault or anything. It's like, we have to talk about it.
Of course.
It is hard, but I mean, it's got to be even harder for the person thinking about suicide all the time and actually trying to commit it. So I do have this weight that I take on, but, you know, I mean, not as much of a weight as, you know, the people who work at the Lifelines, you know, and that actually deal with this every single day. So, you know, I can only imagine what their life is like, their day-to-day life and the things that they go through. But yeah, I mean, I look at it as a gateway song. You know, 1-800 to me is like, you know, I'm talking to these people and they're like, this song. And I'm like, yeah, this song is actually on an album that talks about anxiety and, you know, no, seriously, and racism and sexual assault and mental health and suicide and depression and, you know, going to school or not going to school. And I always flip it to say, like, there is more, because I am not this song. And this also, to me, this is a gateway song for me. Like, now everybody and their baby mama is going to be wondering what I'm going to do next. What's the next single? What's the next this? What's the next album? And the great thing is I know, and I know what it's going to be, and I know how good it's going to be. So now because think about it, I've had a bunch of singles for albums, but I could never go, here you go radio. I could never go, here you go world.
Right.
And now that I have this thing that did that on its own, the next one, whatever it is, will be an amazing message, and it will be a positive message, wherever it is, whatever it is. And I can go, here you go, everybody.
The door's already open.
Yeah, it's very special.
Incredible. Was the song born from like a personal journey, or was it just part of the everybody album collective?
Yeah, but I mean, I personally have never gone through suicidal thoughts, true to form suicidal thoughts. But I have friends of mine close to me who have. I have fans who have expressed that to me. And at the end of the day, like, you know, in all the years that I've been making music for fans, they would always say things like, your music has saved my life, it saved my life. And for me, it's like, yeah, but I wasn't really trying Could you imagine if I sat down and made an album and a song that tried to do these things, a song that dealt with anxiety, a song that dealt with, you know, being poor or being feeling though you're a minority, whether you're Muslim or Christian or Catholic or, you know, this or that, black, white, whatever. Or, you know, if you're suicidal, could you imagine if I actually sat down and penned a message to the people who will be listening to my music? And that's, again, like I say, for those who hate my music, it doesn't matter because I'm writing these things. Even the fun turn up when I do like some Bobby Tarantino fun stuff, it is still for the people who want that. So for me, man, it blows my mind. Like, this shit is just, I can't believe that I'm here. I can't believe I'm in this position, in this situation. When I was a kid, man, I used to write raps. You know, I'm a teenager, and I would write all these raps, and I was poor, and I didn't have a dime. And I did it because I loved it. And it was a positive message even then, telling the listener, but really telling me, you can make it, you can do it, you can this, you can that. And, like, I'm no flex, bro. Like you said, multi-platinum, millions of albums sold, millions of dollars. And when I sit down, it's not for any of those things. It's still for the person. It's still for me, and it's still for the positive message. And I can't fucking believe it. I'm so stoked that I, like, made it out on the other side, and I'm still doing it because I love it. It's awesome.
Inspirational, bro. It really is.
Thanks.
The last song on the album that I wanted to talk about was the one you've mentioned a few times, Anxiety.
Yes.
Something that never gets spoken about in hip-hop.
Yeah.
Like, hip-hop being a culture where I'm the greatest, I'm better than you, I've got no weaknesses.
Yeah.
But you've stepped out and you've spoken about anxiety. So the Star Wars story, was it true? Was that actually you, or is this yet another?
No, that's me. That was really me. Yeah, when I was standing in line to see Star Wars with my wife, and I just had this insane panic attack unlike anything I'd ever experienced, and wound up in the hospital, and they're trying to tell me it's anxiety. Like, shit, I'm talking to you right now, and I have anxiety right now. Like, you know, I'm exhausted. I've been on the tour. You know, I haven't seen the sun in like 3 weeks. Like, you know what I mean?
Right,
like, there's a lot going on, but you have to persevere. You have to go through it. And yeah, like, that is a real thing. And everything that I discuss on that song is real. And I was scared to do it. I was scared to talk about that because it's hard to feel weak, but I'm not weak. Accepting and talking about things and being honest with yourself doesn't mean you're weak. You know, it might mean that you're at a weak place, but you are, continuing to persevere through that dark place. And that's why I always say, like, joking. I mean, I'm half serious, but whenever I'd be like, fuck rap, like, I don't mean rap. Like, I mean, like, fuck rap bullshit. Fuck I got to be greater than you in this. Like, that's a real thing. That's why I don't give a shit about rap and hip hop in the traditional sense of being the best rapper. I don't give a fuck about that. I used to want to be that. I used to look at Kendrick Lamar and Drake and J. Cole and, you know, all these amazing fucking peers of mine and say, like, no, I'm going to be, I want to be better than him, and I want to be this, even though I love them. They've inspired me. But, every time I would go and do an interview and be like, yeah, Kendrick inspires me or Drake inspires me, people would be like, that's just whack. You should inspire yourself, and you should. And I'm looking and thinking about Queen and Michael Jackson and James Brown and all these beautiful people who were able to go to other musicians and peers of theirs and go, thank you for the inspiration, and be able to take something that inspired them and then do this and that, whatever. And so for me, I realized, fuck the #1 rap spot. Fuck nah, I'm gonna be the best, and I'm gonna take food out his daughter's stomach, and I'm gonna beat it, and I'm gonna, like, seriously, because that's what it is. That's what it is. It's fuck you. I'm the best. I'm the great. I'm the this. And when I realized that, even in a way, because I mean, even still, like, we have, like, I'll jokingly be like, I'm the greatest rapper, and I'm gonna do, and it's funny. But I used to really mean it. I used to really mean, like, I'm gonna be the best one day. I'm gonna blow up. And when I realized what that meant is, nah, fuck you and fuck everything you stand for. And I'm saying this subconsciously to my favorite rappers.
Right.
Fuck that. I want King Kendrick to be the greatest. I want Drake to be the best. I want Jermaine to continue to fucking inspire me and millions of others. And I want to be the best at me and at being me. And when I realized that, I set myself free, because I don't want to just rap. Like I said, I want to sing ballads, and I want to play the piano. And I'm going to tell you this. You cannot put me in a box, because my talents have put me in a mansion. And it's that simple.
That's the sickest line, you can't put me in a box.
Oh, that was pretty gangster.
My talents have put me in a mansion.
Oh, shit.
You just wrote a lyric, bro.
I just made that up, dog. Hey, yo, we got to put this shit on the internet.
That's a lyric. We got a new lyric.
Oh, I'm going to put that in some raps.
Towards the end of the album, there's part of the skit that talks about we're queuing the 4th and final album. Tell me it's not true.
You just got to see, man. You just got you'll figure it out. It's all good. I will say I'll be making music for the rest of my life. You know, it'll make sense. It's a concept, it's a saga, it's a series, but it'll make sense when the time is right. Yeah.
Well, all I need to know is that you're going to continue to make music. That's a beautiful thing.
I'm gonna continue to make music.
Something I always ask artists, which I didn't ask you last time we sat down, which I'll ask you now. Dead or alive, any artist ever, who would you most like to collaborate with?
Freddie Mercury of Queen.
You answered that with the quickness.
Yeah, dog. Straight up. I mean, he's amazing. He's my favorite. Like, it sucks. Like, he's just so good. Like, goddamn. Anyway, yeah, him for sure, without question. You know who I really want to work with though? That's from the UK.
Go on.
Lives in America now, in the States. Have you ever heard of Devontae Hines?
No.
Oh my God, he is amazing. He's a singer and a musician and a player, and he goes by Blood Orange. He goes by Lightspeed Champion. He's just one of the dopest dudes ever, and I'd really love to work with him. Yeah, I don't really listen to rap. No. Not anymore. I used to consume myself in it. Now I'm bored of it, and that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate it. You know, when I always keep my ears to the streets, and when I hear some dope ass shit, I listen to it, and it's fucking tight.
Yeah.
But I've been rapping for 20 years, and now I wanna break into other things. I'll still always rap. I'm gonna rap, but I'm just saying, like, I find my inspiration in different places now.
Yeah, I noticed that for this album. Sonically, you couldn't really call it a rap album. So
it's weird. I know.
There's different BPMs.
Just wait for the future, man. It's gonna be fun.
Incredible. Logic, it's been an absolute pleasure, man.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you so much for the time. I want to point out, Logic's made the time to do.
Yes.
This is the only face-to-face interview
that's
in the
true.
UK is doing.
We were supposed to get together last time.
Yeah.
And I was too busy. I couldn't do it. And you know, I don't owe nobody favors. I don't owe nobody shit. I'm sitting down with you because I really wanted to, and you're a good person, and you were one of the first people to ever sit down and truly interview me as a man and a journalist and it was So thank you for taking the time and for believing in me early on, and I can't wait for the next one.
I can't wait either. It's DJ Double here with Logic.
Nice.
That was amazing, bro.
Thank you.